people from your country and use them there, and people come back into the jurisdiction, then you begin to have challenges of cells growing up within your country, etc. So some of these latest developments of Ghanaians being involved now create very, very severe worry for us. Cabinet has been briefed on the growing, worrying nature of these threats and the preparedness of the state security agencies to counter them. But we believe it is important to let the public know that these are some of the challenges, and the public has a role to play also in alerting security agencies and being aware, so that intelligence gathering is made easier for any necessary responses. Now already the administration in the last 4 years, as I'm sure you've noticed, has invested a lot into retooling, particularly our military, and providing some logistics for them up north, but there's the need to do a lot more. And the administration assures the Ghanaian public that they will continue to strengthen the measures that are aimed at providing or preserving the safety of the Ghanaian people. And at the same time, we also request of the citizenry to be aware and to draw the attention of the security agencies to any activities going on that they may find abnormal or of concern, particularly where there are people showing up in communities trying to recruit young men and women for various causes. It will be in our collective interest to alert the security agencies so that they can act accordingly. Now, these two are some of the most prominent discussions that took place, or that Cabinet had the opportunity to spend time on, particularly the security situation becoming a very worrying one. And we thought it's important to let you know at this point in time. So that will bring us to the end of our briefs. I will try and sum up in three, and then I'll invite. But another area that also came up very strongly at this cabinet review was is the growing incidents of terrorism and piracy along our borders, and the kind of challenge that it begins to portend for us here in Ghana. Now, if you have followed what is going on in the West African sub-region, the incidents of terrorism and piracy are on the increase. And literally every day they are drawing closer south, which means closer to our borders here in the Republic of Ghana. Now, the government will wish to assure citizens that it will continue to take all appropriate measures to ensure that Ghana is protected from the increasing risks of terrorist activity and piracy that is always coming closer to our borders. In the last few months, countries that share borders with Ghana, including Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire, have experienced a series of terrorist attacks, with the most recent one, I think, in Burkina Faso. And then to our south, the Gulf of Guinea is also getting inundated with piracy attacks. And it puts us in a pretty difficult situation. Just to recap, I think first, 2 Spanish journalists and an Irish national were abducted and killed near a reserve in eastern Burkina Faso. That was around the 26th of April, 2021. And then a second act of terrorism in Burkina Faso, May 3rd, Cordial. According to the reports, at least about 30 people were killed by gunmen in this particular incident. Another incident, Burkina Faso, June 5, 2021. That's the one after which the president had to go on behalf of ECOWAS. And it happened in a village called Solam in the Yaga province, bordering Niger. And the reports are that the armed men killed about 160 people in what has been documented as the country's worst terrorist attack in recent years. Now, what is worrying is that the attacks are gradually coming closer to our northern border. So on the 29th of March, for example, 2 soldiers and a policeman were killed overnight when 2 security positions came under attack in Ivory Coast's border with Burkina Faso. So it is, or these attacks are now coming down as much as possible. The army statement from Cote d'Ivoire mentioned about 60 heavily armed terrorists coming in from Burkina Faso to conduct that attack there. Now, in recent weeks, based on shared intelligence, Ghana's intelligence agencies have had to alert the security agencies up north to beef up troop deployments and intelligence gathering as these activities continue to increase and appear to be making their way down south. There is now also evidence that Ghanaians, or at least one Ghanaian, confirmed to have been recruited by some of these terrorist groups to participate in their activities there. And if you followed the history of terrorism, the overwhelming majority of the persons involved in these attacks, be they the piracy attacks or the terrorist attacks, are West Africans. West Africans from among us. We are the same people who are doing it. So I think in instances where some interceptions were done on the sea, West African nationals, they are not from Europe or anywhere else. West African nationals, I may not single out the country, but I'm sure your research will show. In the terrorist activities in the northern part of West Africa, it's West African nationals. And I just mentioned to you that at least in one instance, a Ghanaian was involved. So it's not as though somebody is the one who is harming us. We are responsible for improving the security situation, and it requires an all of government, all of country, all of West Africa approach. Already the West African countries are doing a lot of intelligence sharing after the Accra Accord, which was the initiative of President Akufo-Addo. They are sharing a lot of intelligence so that they can alert you that we have succeeded in clearing this person from our country, but we are told he's now heading towards your country. And then you can also put your systems in readiness. And that is where, if you don't have the men, logistics, intelligence to respond, then you are caught flat-footed. So it is important that we do this. And then Abednego, as I mentioned, I think on Wednesday this matter was dealt with. At TSC West Africa, Potem Hassan, Netifiho, Burkina Faso, Fafiti Mali, Nkeka Huni Ade Ba, ya Yuhu Kakra. And until na baby Mali a 7 bar, now man penny for any ebe or so say ho ekoso ejijasa na netu ati dom na nya kwan ye de omo pe ho na omo de omo niema na omo ye no omo de isane ba na nse ya ntem se wo de waso atofo ma April ya se sentrofo be mienu e wo Burkina Faso etu ati dom yi echi omo kun wom May nipa be duasa ewo Burkina ho so omo etushe omo so tutu omo tu ni ade ekun June 5 ababese ekwe nipa oha eduasia 160 ena omo san to share omo so a etutu asem omo ekun omo ma omo hwere omo nkwa no kwanpo de ECOWAS pani Ghana man pani na so koho ekomo omo yakọ na omo nyuma no afi eben amaya ebenpo ewo West Africa uko Ivory Coast as say omo border hono ebia bembe ho yeso ye de no say ebi bembe ho kakra Ivory Coast dey ya na ye ka ho asem 29th of March be 2 soldiers and them say one policeman no to share omo so eye omo ayaka de omo so hwere omo nkwa na senanse so wo de waso ato form a Ghana intelligence agencies now so mo police for immigration for soldier for koko say niema bi a wonum ehu ewo ye border regions ho no ye di agro asafo ni bi ebi wura ye memo ha say enye no nko se di ama say ye nyina ya san bohu kakra ka ho ni say ye nya nyina so say ebi mo ebitumi abefa Ghana fo bi mo wa hade o makoka saade no ho na se wahwe saade wi sene a omo ye no wi ase bebrebe a omo tumi befa bi fi ukuro mu de kɔ ho a owi ho a sefi no de ba enti ama ye nyina say aboye pusu kakra a wo se pagya ye bambo no emu ebi nso se wo hwɛ ye nsuo yi so a epo yi so a de friend no pirate etuate dom na bi omo de nsuo so adwuma no mo ye no omo chiche ships no omo jiji nkofo ne ma ne ade no omo so omo agro no emu epagya a no so ba na eben ye nsase no nti babia yegina no wohwe West Africa ha akoyese ahankwana ase asomdie kakra ewo baby bebre no niam ekoso wo ho no enye wokọ Nigeria banditry kidnapping ne ade eno so mu pagya ewo ho tie ho akohia se yebetu anamo na yahwe na yahye sapo munsuo na se manusi sumina so bibi mpo ebe ya yetumi ntentem nara etu so sa na so ko ho akohia so se ye ne omanfo so bedi nkomo se elianom de ekoso ni to bi ama nani enna ho na baby awote baby awo hu se bibi koso a ensem fata obi abewura ho a obobo ankofo ano hu de odo mo ye so odo mo ko ha ne ade so a wama mpanifo aso ate na sa anomonto bi ho a yetumi atu sa anamo no aban be koso aye dia wo so yina na sentem ya ha wo sa aban mfidie ahodo soja amoka ne ade wo se to ediko boye boda no ho ban ewo ho no yedi kan yibi yekọ enim ne behwe de wo se yetumi ye edebo eho eban ewo esro ho yeda wase ewo sankomo we se ho so no aban nya brebe na nsa ebunkompo akohwe adwuma bosome beye nsie ya efiase aban atumi aye ne de aka kire wo se ye ni titiru no mu no enema mienu bi abededia beye na watwe mienu miensa da enimi be se oman no efiase etu eho anamon akwakire sen dia na yefiase aye no ba ko ye oman no sikasem ene ni mpuntuo yenyina eni mpuntuo ana ekoso 2017 2018 2019 ansana ya record ye covid no eba ya ema mpuntuo no ekofom na 2021 yi na ehwe anim se ebefi ase ne ya ne ema ebe ma mpuntuo no emu asan ekenya se na wuti nkomo a ewukrom a utume se yare ne bae no ne se ne ya yetutu ne ema bebre mu adwuma nkofo nko adwuma na se ne wukọ ochena wukọ ne ade no ama yesika sem ne ahode akofom ama ahokyere akosoro kakra nti ehumia se ntemtem no yebebiebi na yetumi fi yadwuma se no oman no sika sem ne mpunto akonanim na mfie bosomi miensa edi kan na fi we mu no emse mpunto na fi ase so wohwe statistical service nkyere ya no mde man na yakoye nimbe o hanchiche mu miensa na ekiri po baako bosomi miensa etoso biomebesi juni and so mode ho krata ababekire cabinet a enche bia finance minister emse be 28th se me data na correct be 28th obeba parliament na wababa ye the friend media review no na wababa man nyina ye ho ba bia sikasem ejina ene ma ka eche wo se ye na etumi ema man sikasem na nimpuntu pagya tentem na wababa hwe na ode ni na wababa tudwa na ye ka na sa no so ade ba ko so ama ma wenka se ye nyina yabo hu kakra any etiate